Yeah. Did you ask him? You should have said like, "Hey, man, are you gonna change it from music television? Like, are you gonna change the name?"
You know what? Think about how easy it would be to shoot a music video now with AI and a
Oh
phone.
man,
You
Yeah.
and
know what
CG
I'm
and
saying?
AI together, you don't even need the artists.
No, no,
Yeah, we could do it
exactly.
all ourselves.
Yeah.
I was reading a couple of things too about how like they're making these AI influencers and they're making a ton of money and like they're doing the same thing in like porn. You know, like they're just making
Oh,
these
nice.
basically made up and people are making a ton of money. And then I'm sitting there like, how come when I make an avatar, it sucks? Like everyone that I make is like completely shitty. It like the voice sounds awful. Like it's all choppy and it's like, but these people are making full blown porn stars and they're creating influencers and I'm like, gosh,
Out of
you know,
nothing, right? It's all
yeah,
fake. Yeah.
How'd
yeah.
you like? How'd you like to sit in the airport, right? You're like at the Delta Lounge and you're on your laptop and you're creating this porn avatar, right? Because I remember I was sitting in the Delta Lounge and I was editing a bikini video like for like I don't know what it was, like a photo shoot or something, and I was like trying to hide in the corner. You know what I mean? Like because people were giving me dirty looks.
Oh, speaking of that, did you this is kind of I guess last week, but so you know who Shannon Sharp is, right? Shannon Sharp, like
Yeah.
insanely like
Yeah.
built
Yep.
dude, like a smart guy, like so did you read that he accidentally threw his phone on his bed and it went to Instagram live and it was broadcasting the audio of him like engaging in sexual, you know, in sex with his wife or girlfriend or
Yes.
whatever it is. Oh, that's rough. Ooh.
Really?
So, so I've been watching a lot of people talk about this, and at one point, there was a picture of Shannon getting out of his SUV, and they were all saying that he was gay or that because he had the fanny pack, and and they're like, oh, they were making comments about his sexuality, and then they said, was this purposely put out or wasn't it? So it was a
Oh
big
wow. Yeah.
controversy now going over the internet, and someone's like, how
Wow.
could you throw your phone across the room, have it click onto live, and this and that, like, so there's a conspiracy going on, between like all these people, haters,
Wow.
non-haters, whatever it may be. But listen, I agree with Shannon because I've dropped my phone numerous times, and it's like, whoa, I didn't mean to send that, or whoa, why is that up there? Or oh, I just dodged a bullet. So, I don't
Dude,
know.
it's
I,
funny
I,
you
I
say
can
that.
I can totally believe it. My wife hands me the phone. Her phone is to look at something, and I can literally hold my hand out flat like this.
Yeah,
She can lay the phone in my hand, and within 2 seconds, I'm calling a customer service room in Pakistan or something. I mean,
yeah.
it goes off. It's doing something else. I don't know. I mean, those phones. I mean, I'm constantly making erroneous calls, turning on websites, doing shit but just from touching the thing. So yeah, I can
You know,
totally see that happening. Totally.
That's
look,
funny.
it's behind closed doors too. So whatever he said on there is
Right.
he didn't mean to put it out. So it's his business, and people are like, oh, ESPN should like suspend him or this. Why? Like,
Why?
you know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's the best publicity. I mean, look at all the celebrities who had actual tapes and stuff
I
like
know. They did it on
He did it
purpose.
on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just
Right.
thought about
No,
that. I'm
no.
like, you know, it's one thing if it happened to somebody like me whose following is minimal, right? It's very my reach is very small. But like Frank has millions of people that he could broadcast to.
I,
So, so
Zach,
accidentally, oh,
me and John would analyze your Instagram live if you put it out there.
I feel like I would have to sit here and bear. I would have to be like at least do it with you and take some notes because if it's out
Look,
there, it's out there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
would you be in a boat with a Rubik's cube?
I know I would be. Yeah,
Over the
that,
Titanic.
that's the audio you hear. I'm like, I can't get that
But
second layer.
Shannon Sharp, man, that guy, he's a tremendous athlete.
Yeah.
Besides football, I've seen him train. He used to train with Rope Man was a IFBB judge, and then he would train with Lee Haney back in the day. So
Really?
Shannon
Really?
Sharp's no joke in the gym. Plus, he's a Hall of Fame tight end, and I love his show, my Nightcap with Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
I watch it on TikTok all the time. Ocho Cinco's hysterical.
Yeah. And by the way, he's insanely like people. Remember how Ocho Cinco would always have all of like the flash, and he'd be wearing all this expensive, and like he came out later and was like, yeah, it was all fake. Like he saved a ton of his money. He was really really smart. He played a character, and man, you know what? By playing that character and assuming that role, the guy got so much publicity in a sport where it can be difficult, right? You're wearing a helmet all the time, so just I was like,
Do you know what
so smart.
You know what he did? He said he put all his money away. It was like 15, 20 million or whatever. But he would go to that Claire shop or whatever. He probably would go for your little kids to get little knickknacks. He said he would get the fake diamonds here for $10. So,
Boys, how we doing?
what's up? What is it, Tuesday?
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday.
Good morning. Good morning.
Tuesday,
Good
all
morning. We got beards on one side and clean shave on the other. I like it.
You know what? I don't like to see the grays in the beard, bro. So I'm like,
Me too. Me too.
I'm too vain.
I've embraced them. They're not
I'm
going
too
anywhere.
vain.
When I was in Portugal last month, I got my beard trimmed, and the guys dyed it, a little bit. It looked terrible. So
Yeah, well,
the thing is, if you could put like a little bit of dye in, so you still keep it gray and black,
yeah,
that would be good. But it's either or. You either get all black or this. So
you can't go Count
I can't go
Chocula
all
black. You can't go Count Chocula, Count Dracula black, though.
Oh.
It's like a real bald guy, like a Charlie Brown with 3 hairs on his head who gets a hair transplant. All of a sudden, he shows up at the party with a full head of hair. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that would be acceptable. It's the toupee that's the problem. It's
if you have 3 hairs on your head and all of a sudden you show up with like a full head of hair, you can't do it. You can't. You can't.
These guys are flying a turkey and getting it done all the time now. It's a big thing.
But it's a recession. Like, your hair's receding. You can't go full bald and then all of a sudden show up like a chia pet head. Right,
it's like when you shave your beard off, it's like the next day everybody's looking at you cross-eyed, and then they get used to it,
I want to get ahead of it. I want to start doing it now. So like when it does start to happen.
No one will know.
You should. That's the way to do it.
That is the way. But Kenny's here. Kenny Santucci's going to tell us about his event coming up, right? In New York City, Kenny. So
yes.
Tell us all about it.
So basically, I was going to all these health and wellness expos and all these events all over the country. Fit Expo, LA Fit Expo, the Arnold, the Olympia, FIBO, all this shit. And there was nothing here in New York. And the stuff I was going to here in New York was the Food and Wine Festival, the Coffee Festival, Comic-Con, Boat Show, Car Show. I go, where's all the fitness shows here in New York? The city that's the most influential for everything else doesn't have a health and wellness expo. So back in 2016, we started putting the pieces together and created this event. This year will be our 8th year. We obviously slowed down because of COVID and stuff, couldn't do as much then. But this year is going to be bigger and better than ever before. Very excited. We got some great speakers. We have some amazing trainers and athletes doing a showcase on everything from dance classes to Pilates to jiu-jitsu and powerlifting. So we try to cover all our bases. I wanted it to be what basically makes up New York City fitness, right? New York City fitness isn't predominantly bodybuilding and supplements and things like that. I wanted it to be this elevated experience, so I wanted to include everybody. So we have kids classes. We have a lot going on throughout the day. We have running, because running's obviously a massive part of the New York City fitness scene. We have athlete showcases, so people like demonstrating different stuff. We have a lot of great trainers coming in. Thank you for putting that up. That looks awesome. But it's exciting. It's exciting. We have some really great speakers, and then we have over 50 brands showcasing their products. I'm still waiting on this guy Frank Seppi to get me some of these bars so we can get those guys on here.
So let me address that right now. When you're a start, wait, I'm gonna put the heat on. When you're a startup brand, you ship out, you ship back, you ship out, you ship back. There's no money. As much as I would love to do your event, I'm trying to satiate you with publicity and everything else. So
I
appreciate that, you motherfucker. How about it? If I
I
had
want listen,
bars, I would give them to you.
I buy product. This is how much I
You
believe
do.
in Frank's.
You do.
This is how much I believe in Frank's product. I would buy product and give it away at the event. And I just want to say Frank Seppi was at my event. I just need to be able to say that.
Wow.
I'm coming. I am
The
coming
number,
to your event.
That's big.
but
That's big.
but I said I believe in the product and I love the product so much that I want to put
Thank you.
boxes of it, and I have boxes of it in my closet that we're going to put in all the gift bags because I think the product is absolutely fucking stellar, and I think more people need to get on board. And if they haven't tried it yet, they should definitely try it because it's
That's
unbelievable.
cool.
So you
Well,
did
appreciate that.
you did a bang
Did
up
you?
job with it. Because
Thank
I'll
you.
tell you what, because I get sent shit all the time now that we do this. I'll get sent different bars and stuff all the time, and I'm like, who the fuck invested in this? It's the product. You almost feel bad because you're like, your first line of defense is like having a good product, and I'm like, this tastes like shit. It's about a lot of
Yeah.
drink companies. Some of the drink companies, you're like, Jesus Christ, this is like drinking gasoline. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Zack and I tried the cinnamon toast dog shit crunch bar, right? Right at that thing. It was terrible. It was dry. It was like the worst thing. I'm like, who invested in this?
Yeah, no,
Zach's on mute. Zach, he's speechless. You,
So
the
Kenny, I got to ask you because right off the bat,
can't hear
as
you.
soon as I hear the words New York City and
Yeah.
event, the third word in the
Money.
progression is headache.
Yes.
In all of the cities in the world, New York has got to be one of the toughest to put on an
Yeah.
event with all the regulations, permits, insurance, all the crap. Kind of just run through that. How much of a hassle is it to put on a big event like that?
I have a team of 3 ladies who are constantly working on this, like making sure we follow all the rules. Let me tell you how stupid this thing gets. Now, we have, I don't know if you know him, but this gentleman by the name of Matt Long was on a 30 for 30 years ago, where he was, it was a 30 for 30. And basically, he was a New York City firefighter, got hit by a bus, dragged for like 6 blocks, came back after 60 something surgeries, and he's then competed in the New York City Marathon that year and an Ironman. And this guy is very impressive, and his story's incredible. And we're having him speak at the event. I actually called him up because the space where we're having the event told me that I need fire retardant flame
Oh,
certificates for every booth. So if somebody has like a tablecloth or a
wow.
backdrop or a banner, all this stuff needs to have. And I go, what? When I told him, I go, hey, do you got anybody who can help me expedite this or anything? He goes, I've never even fucking heard of that, and I worked for the New York City Fire Department for 20 fucking years. But it's like the rules and regulations around it are so ridiculous. It's like, I don't know if you guys have ever lived in the city, but like if you move from one house to another in Long Island or New Jersey or anywhere else in the world, you truck pulls up, load the shit out of the house. Here in New York City, it's like you got to get in touch with the building to make sure you have the elevator. You can only get the elevator on certain hours or certain days. It's logistically an absolute nightmare. So it's like I pay the girls to take care of it. At the end of the day, though, it's like I have to figure it out. Every year there has been some sort of crazy, like if we're serving alcohol, if there's going to be kids there, if there's like all these rules and regulations and certifications and ticketing things. Like we're trying to rent. I'm trying to block off one of the streets. Now, in any other town, you just get a permit. They'll put guardrails up and you're fine. Here in New York, it's a $2,000, $3,000 fee, to put up wooden barriers and have a. Um, it's just ridiculous. Everything is such a headache. And I tell people, I go, I think that's why it never existed, is because it's such a headache. And now it's like my next move, if God willing, if everything goes well and this goes off as planned, the next step is to go to the Javits Center. Now, the Javits Center doesn't allow you to have any other food but their food, which kind of sucks because I'm trying to throw right? I'm trying to, and they're serving fucking pizza and buttered popcorn and shit. And I'm like, I can't have that. Yeah,
Churros.
yeah, it's all bullshit.
Stuffed churros.
And,
Look,
and and
Kenny,
soda and
there,
shit, right?
it's going to cost you $65 for the union to screw in a light bulb over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. I wish if it was $65, it'd be more digestible. It's $250 to have some fat old man who's never done anything but flip a switch to turn the lights on in the place. It'll be an absolute fucking nightmare. And I said the
I,
other day, I was saying to one of my clients, I go, I fucking hate unions. I was a part of a union. I was a part of um, a shipping union down in Jersey. I used to work on the docks when I was a kid. And the unions are great for certain things, but they perpetuate horrible behavior. It's like
Yep.
they won't do anything beyond their scope of work. Where it's like the best thing when owning your own business, and you guys know this, owning your own, having somebody who's a utility person who could do everything, carry shit, lift shit, send emails, do like that's what you're looking for, efficiency in a business. When you have 50 people and they all do one job, now I'm overpaying everybody, and it's
Yep.
like now it becomes a fucking complete headache to do anything.
Well,
can
why
you,
do
am
you
I
that
still
think?
muted? Am I still muted or no?
No,
You're good.
you're up there. But why do you think you
Sweet.
get all these guys on all these websites who are like bodybuilding? All these big shows aren't in New York anymore. Well, compared to Scranton or some other town where a
Yeah,
theater is 2 grand, how much do you think one of these theaters are? And what you just spoke about, you'll be in a -600%. Why do you
Yeah,
think all
yeah.
the shows are in
Yeah.
because
in Jersey?
because all of those rules and regulations and requirements and law, all of them come with a charge. It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
just you got
Absolutely.
to have the slip. It's you got to pay $1 billion for the slip. You know.
Yeah.
Garbage disposal.
And every brand we talk to, I go, listen, it's New York City, it's an elevated experience, it's a higher end clientele. I go, but you're gonna pay for it because I'm paying for it. Like I
Right.
could rent a convention center in Columbus, Ohio, Las Vegas, Nevada, Tampa, Florida, for one
Orlando.
third or one
Yeah.
eighth of what I'm
Yeah.
paying here. It's $120,000 for the day. That's
Wow.
just
Jeez.
the space. Now it's like everybody's, oh, you should get an LED screen. I go to have a guy operate the LED screen because I wanted it. It's
Yeah.
We want one.
$22,000 fucking dollars to have it.
What?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So it's like it's insane. Like the prices are crazy. Like people are like, oh, it's probably like 4 or 5 grand. I go, no, it's 20 grand. So now it's
Yeah.
like 20 grand for this, 20 grand for that, 20 grand, 10 grand for this, 10 grand for like you're up to $300,000-400,000. I haven't even fucking had somebody walk through the door yet.
So is
Kenny,
Well, how
that
do
I
you
120
how do you
grand?
break? Can I ask you a question about like the financials of it? Then how do you break? How do you even break even? Right, because there's there's tickets that you can get, and then the booths and the sponsors that come in, they're going to pay you X amount. But I'm sure that scale is rolling, right? Because not everybody is going to be Gatorade and have cash flying out their ass. It's like some people are strapped, some people can't. So how is it that you even make? Put financials together to where because you want to at least get to make your investment back, right? And then you want to, if you can, make a profit. How does it work?
Yeah, so we've been lucky enough to break even or turn a little bit of a profit. But if I was paying everybody who works for me, what they deserve, it wouldn't happen, right? I always tell people, I go, it's like putting together the Avengers. When they made that movie, they're like, hey, listen, we can't pay everybody their rate. We can't pay Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and all these guys their
Yeah.
rate. We're
Mhm.
putting together this really great thing, and that's how I kind of pitch it to a lot of the brands because every brand, whether you're Nike or Adidas to a new startup protein brand. It doesn't matter. Everybody's like, listen, we really don't have the budget for that. I'm like, I get it. I don't have the budget for it. I go, but we're trying to put everybody together in one room to create something that you can't create it ever anywhere else.
Right.
If you watch there's a great documentary on We Are the World. Did you guys see
Yeah,
that?
I saw it. It's good.
It was incredible. And
Yeah.
basically, their whole pitch was like, listen, we're going to try to do something that's never been done before to put all these great people in the same room. I go, it's going to take a lift on everybody, and everybody's going to have to sacrifice a little bit, but we're going to make something really special. So I'm like, I'm doing all the work. I'm doing all the marketing, all the advertising. I'm dealing with all the bullshit. I go, and I might not make a dollar from this. I go, but I'm trying to create something in the greatest city in the world, the most influential city in the world, right? Everything here, everything that gets seen anywhere else starts here in New York, right?
Yep.
Like there's a boom of boutique fitness everywhere else in the country. But I go, New York City was on the boutique thing back in 2014, 2015, it was like killing it. Now it's taking place in the suburbs and things like that. So I tell people it starts here, and what we do here will pour into every other city and town. And so I'm trying to do something with the best people I know and the biggest brands to make something really special. And when we get everybody in that room, I can't tell you what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be something great. And I love guys like Don who, when I first pitched him on the product on the project, he was like, I love it, let's do it, I'm in. And he's been nothing but supportive, super helpful, right? Like just having his name attached to it just goes so far. And he's allowed me to, just putting his name on things allows me to reach out to other people that frankly wouldn't do it if I didn't have people like him on board. And then it's like the Celsius came on board. My friend Jacqueline, who works at Celsius, she's like, hey, I see what you're doing. How can I help? So there are people who are like slowly kind of gravitating towards, the idea, because they're like, wait, in New York, this seems cool.
Yeah. So look, you have the New York Jets, the New York Giants. They're in Jersey. The New York Pro Bodybuilding Show is in Jersey.
Right.
You have a gym, the Shrimp Club, New Jersey. So
Yeah.
no one would say anything if you'd make $200,000 profit if you just moved 10 miles to the Marietta Teaneck. You could put 200K in your pocket, Kenny.
Yeah.
I'm throwing it out there.
And everybody says it. I was like, I can move it to Secaucus. But what's funny is just this year. So back in 2019, we partnered with that company, High Rocks. You guys did the High Rocks, eh?
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, I was there in 2019, by the way, at your event.
Yeah. So we
Nice
did it
people.
with High Rocks at Pier 94, right? And they had the biggest turnout they had in the U.S. up to that point.
Yeah.
This year they brought it back. They put it on Pier 76 or whatever it was. And
This year.
They have 15,000 people show up. That was the biggest turnout they've had in the U.S. And I think it's comparable to what they've been doing for the past 10 years in like Germany.
Wow. It's awesome.
So it was only because it was so accessible. It's a cool location. It's New York City. They had done it prior in New Jersey the last 2 years before that, and it just didn't hit the same way. So
I think
for me,
it's because Zack and I did a media push 2 days
That's
before.
it. I think that was it. Probably. I think that was we Frank and Zack moved the needle.
We did.
there's all these two handsome guys running through the course, and people are like, if I could look like that going through the course.
We were playing basketball with the wall balls. Like that's what we were like. We were just totally
We actually got about 300,000 views.
I know.
We were playing with the center fit had those really cool sleds.
Yes.
And they made some really good equipment for that. The kettlebells, everything. It was some.
Yeah,
I
they were
liked
nice.
it. Zack is supposed to compete in 25.
No, I said I would try it. I would do it. Not, I mean, listen, compete meaning I will do it. There's no way I'm going to compete as in compete with those like elite
Against
athletes. Like,
yourself.
I'll get trounced there. Like there's no way.
Wait,
We
Zach,
enter Zach in all kinds of stuff.
I know.
how old are you now, though? You're
42.
30-something. Oh, you're 42. Fuck yeah.
Yes.
I think we
Yeah.
missed our. I think we missed our shot at glory. The guys who are winning that shit are like 31, 32 years old.
Yeah. There's no way. But I mean, I'll still do it. I'll still do this stuff just to do it. Like, by the way, I just totally, I just got my challenge for Death Race. What I have to do, I have to do the next one I have to do is a jump rope mile. And then while I'm jump roping a mile, I got to give 5 ways to build an emergency shelter in the woods, which I need to look up because I didn't even know. Like, my thing is, I was like, what? Because I'm like, okay, everybody's going to probably talk about, the basics. I'm like, what if I could come up with a way to like speak with animals and they could do it with me? Like, I feel like that is much more of a better option than just finding a tarp.
All I see is your
Your
neighbors are like, Mommy, look at that crazy man jumping rope in the middle of the street.
And like,
And he's reciting stuff.
I know. So, but sorry, I got us off topic. I did have to ask this, Kenny. So I was from when Frank and I were at your gym, the Strength Club. A friend of mine hit me up, and she was like, "Hey, you took a picture with Kenny." I go, "Oh, you know the gym?" And she goes, "No, I know him from TV." And I go, "What are you talking about? You know him from TV?" She's like, "Yeah, he was on like the challenge." And I never knew that. I never knew you were on these shows.
Yeah.
How long has it been since you were on those? And does that help when you're trying to get the word out? Because maybe you know a handful of people that could help spread the word, or is it kind of something you want to move away from?
Yeah, more of the production side of things. I mean, I haven't been on a show since 2011. I spent, most of my 20s on television. I got on when I was like 21 years old. And I got to see how production is put together and how they put on these shows and what goes into it. And, one of the first things everyone always asks is like, what's that like being on a show? Is it all real? And, you kind of get to see, behind the curtain. You look at a lot of production, you look at a lot of events, and when you see the other side of things, you're like, well, it's not as crazy and glamorous as everybody thinks it is. But it gives you good insight as to like what it takes to put something, pretty epic on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was fun. I got to do a lot of different types of crazy shit. I mean, I've been to every continent. I was in 10
That's
different
cool.
countries. Yeah, it was fun. Like as a 21-year-old, 25-year-old, 27-year-old, you're like, this is amazing. As a
Wow.
40-year-old, I don't think I want to be in a house with fucking 30 other people living on my
That's a
back.
good point. That's a good
Yeah,
point. I never thought
yeah,
of it that way.
yeah.
Nah, that
So like,
ship sailed.
yeah, and you got some 25-year-old production assistant being like, "Hey, you got to go to bed now," and you're like, "What? I'm a fucking 40-year-old man. I'm gonna go to bed."
Throw him out a window.
Yeah,
I just had to ask that because it was lost on me because I have only known you through this industry and what you've
yeah,
been doing, not what you did. And how did that even lead, or did it even have any connection to lead into what you're doing now?
yeah. So I started like when I got out of college. I always been into training. Like when I was 13, 14 years old, I just fell in love with the gym. I was like, I want to be in the gym. I want to own a gym. It was, I would see people like Stone Cold or Hulk Hogan or Arnold, and I'm like, I got to be like one of those guys. And I was like, the only way I'm going to stay disciplined and with this is if I make a job for myself in the fitness industry. So I started hiring when I got on television. I hired trainers because I'm like, I need to be in the best shape, and I found myself really like digging into what else could I do? How else could I train? Why does this guy know all these things about the human body and I know nothing? And I looked at my body like a car. I'm like, all right, I want to soup this thing up. I want to put all these aftermarket parts into it. I got to understand what goes into it, how it works. So I fell in love with that process. And still to this day, I mean, I just trained a guy who's 82 years old, 83 years old. And I go, I love work. I would have thought back then that I'd never want to work with an older demographic, but every session goes so much longer with somebody who's older than somebody who's younger. I had just said this. I did this interview with TRX last week, and I said, I go, the difference between a 30-year-old who works out versus one who doesn't, there's not really much of a difference. You won't be able to see it visually. But the difference between an 80-year-old who works out and an 80-year-old who doesn't work out is a massive difference.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
laid up in bed in a wheelchair, shuffling your feet, or you could be fucking Mick Jagger or my client that I have, and you're fucking moving around like you're 35. You know?
You know what I
I want to
loved
be
about
Ron
your
Wood.
I loved about your gym. If you're in New York City, you got to check out Kenny's gym, Strength Club New York City. But he has this board with all like different people that I guess motivated him or have
Yeah.
some sort of iconic stature. Like it is sick. Me and Zach were going over. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, Macho Man,
Yeah.
Sylvester
Ooh,
Stallone, Hulk
yeah.
Hogan.
Ooh.
A lot
Kenny,
of
Yeah.
cool.
where's your gym in New York?
On 28th and 5th Avenue.
So 19th Street Gym.
Oh,
Tommy
complete.
Tommy Marinelli. Do you know him?
Is
He's
that
been
complete
long
body?
gone.
Is he?
Yeah. Tommy's been long. Tommy was one of my really good friends. He that closed up. A guy named Alex took control. That was between 19th and 5th and 6th. Yeah, Tommy's
Yeah.
been out of that gym for over a decade and a half, probably.
Wow, really?
Wow.
Yeah, Tommy's in
I
Is
didn't-
that,
Florida right now.
is that complete body?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Downstairs.
almost
Jim,
That was it when Brian Moss owned that gym. It was freaking incredible.
Wait, I was there once, I think, downstairs. It was pretty like
Yeah.
dungeon, but it was cool. It was
Really.
really cool.
I would say
Yeah.
that's the closest thing to a hardcore gym as you get in New York.
Mhm.
Like I'm not a fan of it. I think it's kind of grimy. I love a dingy kind of. I love a dingy fucking like a Bev's. I love Bev's.
Yeah.
I love a Tillis in New Jersey. Some of these newer ones, all these like black on black gyms. There's that Iron Revolution and Iron Culture.
Yeah.
Like those type of gyms, I love that shit. Like I love.
Mhm.
I have a membership. Actually, you know what? I have a membership to the Gym U, David
Mhm.
Barton's spot. So he's got all brand new Pranada stuff. So like the days I get out of my gym when I'm not doing what I do here, I go over there and I'll lift over there, or I'll go to jujitsu or whatever. So I have like 3 different gym memberships that I kind of revolve through because I'm just anytime I'm like I don't feel like working out here, I could go somewhere else.
It's
Man,
funny,
that's
you
that-
said
David Barton. Yeah, he's
David-
had like a million gyms, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gone through. I think he's like had 2 or 3 bankruptcies, and the guy comes
Wow.
back and he makes something bigger and better every time.
Damn,
Like he's
man.
So-
when it
Gold
comes to like,
Jim Derek Barton?
what?
David
Gold
Barton.
Jim Derek Barton?
No, David Barton.
Oh,
David
yeah.
Barton. There was David
So
Barton gyms, right? And then that was kind of like this club atmosphere, like back in like
Yeah.
the was it 80s or 90s? Then he had Temple. Then he left Temple, and then he has, I guess, his new one, which I didn't even know, which is Jim
Yeah.
U.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
I don't. How
Yeah.
does he? Dude's
there
got
were
like
there were some
9
nice
lives.
there was nice shit. I worked for ESPN for a long time, so I was hired to go, I guess, review David Barton's product. It was a
Mhm.
Delta party at the Delano in Miami. Remember the Delano? Yeah, the Delano in Miami. That place
Yeah.
was
Pool, the
sick.
pool,
It's
the pool at
beautiful.
the Delano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, it was like a little fitness product that you use on a plane. And, I was live on air and they're like, what do you think? And I'm like, people smell on the plane as it is. I don't know. It's a dumb idea to work on a plane. People get aggravated, whatever. So I didn't think anything of it. I was just giving my opinion because the 30-year-old is 28, 30-year-old is way different mentality of being politically correct. You would say, I could see some value in it for certain people and this and that, but I was like,
You
this
learn.
thing, it's terrible, whatever. But and then I ran into him so many different times. He used to always have the orange pants on with the white
Yeah.
tank top and this and that. But
Yeah,
19th Street Gym, I almost bought it from the group. Brian Moss sold it to the guys who owned Synergy.
Yes.
And then
Oh.
I almost bought it, but Tommy was partners with them, and Tommy bought it, and then had it for 10 years. But all that original equipment was just repower coated, so
Yeah,
there
yeah.
wasn't any new equipment. So, like we were saying, when you're 6'2", and the equipment's from 1970 something, and it's like you have to actually sit on the floor to do like a pull down. I was first there. I'm like, it's like Tom Platz. I was like, what is this? You're like,
Plus, it was a basement too, so the ceiling was really low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they had a DJ in there too. I remember that.
Yep. He
That's
used to
right,
have a
dude.
live DJ spinning on Fridays and Saturdays in the afternoon. That was
And
an
motor-
interesting idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, that
they-
is though. Why not? Try something new. That's funny.
And it brings energy, whatever
Fuck yeah.
stimulates the crowd,
Well, it had a good lease for like 10 years, and after that, I don't know what it was.
I
but
can't
it was-
imagine what rent is.
No.
that lease was a moneymaker for if you knew what you were doing with a gym, you had 10 years to make it and then get rid of it. Because they weren't going to renegotiate that lease.
Oh no, there was the new rent
At
in
least
10
it was
years
like
was 5,000% higher.
Yeah, forget it. It's like
Yeah.
people here in Huntington, like you have it for 1 year and it's like the next, it's like double. As soon as you're successful. Kenny, who are some of the speakers that you have at the event coming up, and some of the sponsors?
I'm very excited. We have our biggest list of sponsors that we've ever had. Some of the big ones are Therabody. So Dr. Jason will speak. Adidas is our clothing sponsor. So they're going to
Nice.
they're going to gear out a lot of the athletes and a lot of the
That's great.
speakers and stuff like that. Celsius has been a partner of mine for the last 2 years. So I love them. I absolutely love the product. I mean, it's phenomenal. Like I'll probably have 2 a day. And everybody's like, oh, you're going to kill yourself. I'm like, well, I'm either going to drink it in coffee or I'm going to drink it in Celsius. And I enjoy the flavor of the Celsius. Bucked Up, which is an awesome supplement brand. I actually
Yeah.
the pleasure of meeting those guys out in Salt Lake. I hung out with them. We had lunch. Great dudes. So they're coming on as a sponsor. And then TRX, which is, I talk about this all the time. One of my favorite products. When COVID first happened, I told every one of my clients, I told my family, I was like, listen, if you're going to go buy something, if you're going to be stuck in your house, one of the best pieces of equipment you could get right now is a TRX. You could
Yeah.
set it up anywhere. You could do 1,001 exercises on it. It's an endless, supply of, equipment, and you could do so much with it. It's versatile. So I was like, get one. And then last year around this time, I was lucky enough to meet the new owner, Zack, and we kind of hit it off, and we've been working together. And I've been doing a bunch of stuff with them, and I love the product. They're doing a lot of new revolutionary
Great.
stuff. These Y bells that I showed you guys last time when we were here.
Yeah, I got those right here.
Oh, what's his name? My friend's is my buddy Derek Pratt. Is he coming to the event?
Derek Pratt's coming. Yep. So he's
Derek
got a
Pratt,
crew.
yeah.
Cool.
He's a good dude. Yeah, Derek Pratt does a lot of stuff with the TRX.
Yeah, so he's got a product called DC Fit, like these bands. So I use all their bands for like all my events and my gym and stuff. Yeah, so we're using their stuff too. So those are our like big sponsors, and then we're partnering with Tone House. So they're going to do a big like liftoff session. Move Fast Lift Heavy, which is a company out of Long Island. They're going to do an athlete showcase doing lifting stuff as well. Yeah,
What do you get? What's that?
This
what's
Derek
that?
Pratt sent me all this
Yeah,
Oh.
DC Fit.
yeah.
Yeah, he just sent me a box.
Yeah, it's a cool little set of like bands and stuff. So it has
Oh,
all the
nice.
different dimensions of like short bands and long bands and stuff. Yeah, it's a great little bag. So in that bag, there's like 4 different types of, the monster bands. There's 3 different types of like the hip bands, and then you have the ankle bands and stuff too. So it's a cool
Well,
little
he's a
pack.
heavy duty man. He's a heavy.
Yeah.
You can feel it. He's a heavy
Yeah,
dude.
they're
These are
nice.
the
So we'll
struggle
be
Get
straps.
giving.
You should get Jimmy the Bull to buy a booth and sell his straps.
Yeah,
You know what? Wouldn't be a bad idea.
I know. You should drag him in there, Frankie.
So we're talking to guys from Hummus Fit. We're trying to get them to do some meal prep. We got this other company doing it's called Liquid Eternity, or Juice Eternity rather. They have smoothies and acai bowls. But then we have Admiral Harwood. He was a 40-year veteran in the Navy SEALs. He's coming in and talking about the importance of fitness and things like that. This girl, Emily, she's her Instagram handle is M on the Brain. So she's a neuroscientist out of Florida, and she's going to talk about the effects of like exercise on the brain and how to kind of combat a lot of the depression and mental issues that people are dealing with today. It's really cool. Obviously, Don's going to be there. I got Jordan Shallows coming.
Nice.
So it's going to be a good crowd. It's going to be a good group of people. I wanted that educational aspect of things where people could learn and grow. There's a lot of people who just need to hear it from the right person. So this is an opportunity. Like we have kids classes too. So we have like a gymnastics kids class. We have Henzo Gracie Academy coming and doing like different self-defense stuff. I have Owen Roddy, who's Conor McGregor's fight coach. He's coming in and doing a class. I have Sean Brady, who's a UFC fighter. He's a welterweight champ in the UFC. He's coming and doing like a mixed martial arts class. So we have a little bit of everything for everybody. We're doing cold plunges, IV drips, chiropractors, physical therapists. So it's a day to come and like you go to all these other events and you're just kind of looking at shit. You go to the car show, it's like how many people are actually buying shit there? Or like even Comic Con.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Or participating. Yeah.
Yeah. So like this is
Yeah,
like
that's
opportunity. All the classes are like 20 to 30 minutes. I got Bobby Maximus coming. He's doing a workout. Um,
Oh, cool.
so, yeah. So we have workouts going on. We have education going on. And then we have the full expo floor where you can kind of experience stuff. For $150, you're going to absolutely meet someone or meet up with some brand that's going to change the way you look at fitness, the way you operate, might put you on the right trajectory to kind of change your fitness journey. So I tell everybody, like people are like, who's it for? I go, the fitness professionals should be coming. It's a no-brainer. It's like a great way to network, grow your professional network and stuff. And then for anybody who's never done it before, this is an opportunity for you to learn what you should be doing. This is like the kick in the ass that you need to start living a better life. And all the
Mhm.
tools are there. It's just a matter, are you willing to, kind of take part in it and, you know, start ordering meal prep or working with a nutritionist, or, hey, I've been dealing with back issues. I found this great chiropractor there who's going to help me out. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, like, just, the same way COVID was so infectious and so many people are afraid of it, like fitness and good feelings. I truly believe if you get people all taking care of themselves a lot better, then you make the world a better place. Like, people are
Yep.
so much happier, so
Yep.
much healthier, so much better off with fitness in their life.
Yep.
Yeah, I have two questions. One is how so the kids classes that is appealing to somebody like me, where I'm always trying to get our kids to do activities. What is do you have like a specific age group for that? And
Yeah.
then I
So,
have one
like,
more follow up after that.
yeah, so kids classes will be anybody from, like, I mean, obviously it's to the discretion of who's teaching the class. We have this young lady who does she teaches gymnastics to little kids. So she has everything from 2 year olds to 15-year olds that she kind of helps out. So, and she has a staff of people. So we'll break them up into groups, and we'll be like, all right, one person will
Cool.
take all the little kids, and then anybody over the age of 9 will go with this other group of people, and there will be kind of like two classes basically going on at once. Same thing with jujitsu. Like, you get the little guys and you kind of just have them run around. I mean, they're really not going to listen to much instruction. Whereas, like, you have anybody over the age of like 8, 9, 10 years old, they could kind of start to roll around and like learn different things. So any kid, when we say kids classes, it's like anywhere from like 3 to 11, 12 years old. And then beyond that, they could kind of start to group into the adults. I'm actually doing it in my gym in New Jersey now. Like, I'm putting that stuff together, and I have 8 nieces and nephews all under the age of 10, and you could see where they start to get some sort of competency. They want to
Yeah.
listen to it. They're like, all right, I want to do this. Teach me how to do it. Whereas, like, the little ones under the age of 6, let's say, you just have to, like, keep them busy and tire them
Right.
out. I mean, you guys
Oh
know, you
yeah.
have,
Oh
so
yeah.
it's like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the one other thing is too also. So you said you're getting all these partners, and how is it that you talk to them about a return, right? Because as much as they want to support you, especially if they know you and like you and understand what you're doing, there has to be a reason financially for them to want to come in. How do you justify that? Because you can't really guarantee someone's going to go buy a product if they're there.
Yeah.
How does it work?
Yeah, great question. So what I tell people, I go, listen, I was like, this is a new initiative. I go, it's a different market than anywhere else. I go, yeah, this works in other markets. Um, if you want to release a product, like, for instance, like Adidas has a new shoe that they're putting out. They want to get that shoe on as many people as possible. So it's a marketing ploy for them, right? They're like, all right, how can we meet the most amount of people in the shortest period of time to get our product out there? And, like, instead of doing a commercial or a traditional social media,
Okay.
push, this is an opportunity for them to not only get that social media aspect and build content, but
Mhm.
also get in front of people. Like, every brand I've ever worked with, like, I worked for Techno Gym, I worked for Panada, I worked for Reebok, I worked for Celsius, I worked for Michelob Ultra. I've worked with a lot of these brands, and a lot of times they don't know what's going on boots on the ground. So I said,
Right.
this is an opportunity for you to meet influencers, trainers, gym owners, people who are inquisitive about the fitness and wellness space, who want to see, like, what's out there. They want to be a part of the action. And it's like, if you miss out on that opportunity, if you're a big brand, you're missing out on connecting with your clientele and, like, who's actually using the product, right? If you give a pair of sneakers to Michael Jordan, it's like, I think nowadays people are starting to realize the difference in marketing. Like, you have these, like, elite athletes who seem to be like celebrities. They're untouchable. Like, people want to wear their shit and be a part of it. But I think somebody who's more influential than that is like these influencers, these 20, 30-year-old kids who are in the mix, who are doing it, who these kids now relate to. And they're like, well, if they could do it, I could do it. So I'm going to go buy their product or whatever they're pushing because it just seems more tangible. When I was a kid growing up, looking at, pictures and reading magazines with Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler and Lee Priest, I'm like, oh shit, these guys are the best of the best. Now they have these micro influencers and local heroes, if you want to call them, who are doing the same shit as these guys, and they're much more influential because people feel like they could access them more. So I think a lot of these brands are realizing that they could access these people who are more influential, and I think they see it as a marketing push, like it's an end of the year marketing push for them to launch a new product.
I think
Very
I just
cool.
realized something. What I'm going to do is market myself. What is below micro? That's going to be the influencer I am. I'm going to give. That's my
Super
influence.
micro.
Is going to be yes, yeah, exactly. Super duper micro influencer right here.
Super micro.
Nano
Yeah,
is
I'm a nano
Nano?
influencer. I can influence 0 people. But you listen. You get
fractional
to talk
people.
to me.
Fractional.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what though, you see it all the time. It's like I'm boots on the ground. I'm in the gym every day. My clients who like really fall in love with, and you guys know this just as well as I do, when they fall in love with what you're doing, they become your marketing. They become your advertisement.
Mhm.
They're the ones who are,
Affiliates, yeah.
yeah. And like I have a young lady in here who I've been training for over a year now. She's brought me like 6 clients because everybody's like, oh my God, she looks great. I want to do what she did. She's an influencer. She doesn't have a big social media following. That's not what her day-to-day job is. But like she's influencing people to do this stuff. So this is an opportunity to like connect with the New York City market, right? There's nothing else to connect with that New York City fitness and wellness market. Um,
Yeah.
so
It's just like, it's like, I feel like who are you talking to at Hummus, by the way? Because I just shot 4 commercials for them.
I just
Who-
who's it? What's the guy's name who owns it?
Tony
Um,
Turkset.
Tony. So I talked to Tony, and yeah, Tony put us in touch with Liana. We're waiting to hear back from
Liana's
Liana.
his wife. Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
sweetheart.
So I had
A
reached out
very
to
nice person.
the muffin company as well. So I buy
Buffin,
all,
yeah.
yeah, and
What's it
I
called?
buy all
Buffin?
Buffin.
Buffin muffin. So
Buffin.
Kelly, who owns Total Nutrition, put me in touch with them. And she's
Okay.
like, just give me some time to get back to you. They're a little like, but I go, listen, I was like, this is a great opportunity. You guys are opening locations on Long Island. There's a lot of people. I stocked my fridge with Hummus Fit. I've been using it for well over a year now. And I
Yeah,
told them, I was
me too.
like, I like the
Turkey
product.
meatballs.
Dude, I
I eat the
love,
chicken keto meatballs with I have it right here. I have at least 6 of them in my fridge at all times.
the buffalo chicken wrap.
That's
That
good
is
too. Yeah, that's good.
a fucking Lou favorite. I'll order like 10 at a time and crush them all
But
week.
they are super nice family. They're
Yeah.
all over the place. You know what? I'll give her a call today for you and let her know, because it just seems like I wish I would have sat down with you. Like I know about your event. I know it, but there's so many different people and
And
connections that I know.
there's so many different aspects of how the event could be so beneficial for not only the New York City market but across the country, because everything here is so influential. And a lot of people, and I really appreciate the brands. Like I work with this company, Half Sumo, so they're like a fight brand. So they do a lot of stuff for like local jujitsu gyms and fight and
Yeah,
like boxing gyms and stuff. And they have a really cool product. When I pitched it to these guys, they're like, "We fucking love this idea. We want to be a part of it. We're going to build out a booth," and they're going above and beyond. I'm like, "Great, awesome, I love that." Like same thing with Celsius. Like when I pitched them on the brand, they were like, "This is outside our scope because we do the Arnold and shit like that." It's a different clientele. It's a different market than New York City. So
yeah.
for me, it's like I love as a small business owner, I want to see other small businesses succeed and do well. And I was like, how could I put that on a national scale? I get these big brands and they'll be associated with these bigger brands being a small local New York City brand. I was a part of CrossFit when it first started. I was going to CrossFit games 2011, 2012. I started opening these gyms.
Oh, cool.
I saw RX Bar and I saw
Yeah,
Go Sleep, and all these brands start out with like, you know, packing them in little baggies and handing them out to $600 million companies. Like if I
yeah.
could be part of that journey with somebody and help somebody out build a brand to that point, like Hummus Fit is a fucking quality product. Your
It's
shit is
great.
a quality product. Like I want to be able to be like, hey, I knew Frank before he had that fucking yacht,
It's
and now he doesn't talk to anybody anymore because he's too.
See now, they say money really it shows you who the person you really are. And Zach
Yeah,
knows, like I would sponsor things, I would do things for people that I
yeah,
like, and I would thumb my nose at people who
Oh
were
yeah.
basically assholes for such
yeah.
a long time. But You know, over the last, I'm listening. Like, I was on Team Reebok as well, and I did all these things. Like I hear you, and it's like all these bodybuilding shows now. 15 years ago, you had maybe 10. Now you
Yeah.
have them all over the world. So
Yes.
you have like maybe 20 main supplement companies, and they're all fighting for the same advertising to go, to get their product out there, and they're like, it's their mark. Now they can dictate what they want to spend because they have options. You have something unique here in that you're New York City. You're like, the pulse of the world. New York City here, come boots on the ground, come down, meet this person, get your brand out there. So I would think that like a lot of these companies who've been doing like the same thing over and over would
Yeah.
want to kind of experience something like this because it's different than what they've been doing status quo. Because honestly, Zach and I go to a lot of events, but they're like Jack Taylor, they're gift guides, they're what
Hmm.
have you, but they're not huge. They're maybe 20, 30 booths. We
Yeah.
have a great time
Yes, we
trying
sure do.
products out and stuff. But but they, honestly, every single company that was there has sent multiple emails to us saying, hey, can you post this on your personal page? Can you do this? We're going to send you product. Like, you can see that there's a hunger for people to get their product out there.
Mhm.
For
And
sure.
besides social media now and affiliate programs and stuff, they're looking for ways that they can actually interact with people in
Yeah.
person than
Hmm.
online, which is
Yeah.
now every millennial is like, oh, we're going digital. We're going to put here, we're going to need an affiliate program, we're going to do this. But you know as well as I do, if you try the product and you're using you're more
Yeah.
likely to buy the product.
Right.
So
I
Yeah.
I would recommend that they actually people, go
yeah.
to, strong New
What?
York and get a booth and put, put your product out there because you're going to meet influencers, maybe someone like Don or somebody from Adidas or whatever is gonna be like, wow, I really like this product. I didn't even know it existed. Maybe
Yeah.
we could do business here. So
Yeah.
that money that you put in there initially come back to you tenfold. So I
And
would
that's what I
think,
tell people. I like if you're going to spend 4 or 5 grand, right, coming setting up at the event, you're going to be able to meet. Like it's crazy to me that people who've reached out to
yeah,
me who come down. Like Ben Pekulski hit me up the other day. He's like, "Hey, I see what you're doing.
man.
I
Yeah,
love it. It's great. I follow all his shit." And I was like, "Dude, that'd be such an honor." Like when I was talking to Bobby about Bobby Maximus, he's like, "Dude, I want to come down." Like last year, Jim Quick, New York Times bestseller, hits me up 2 weeks before the event. He's like, "Hey, I would just love 5 minutes on the stage." I go, "I'll give you 25 minutes. Please come." So it's like when people like that are starting to reach out to me and like they see the value in the brand, then I'm like, okay, I know I'm doing something right here. And I tell people all the time, even with my brand, I could just be another shirt like I sell the shirts and stuff just as like to make the event cooler. But like
yeah,
I really take pride in what I'm doing with the shirts and stuff. And if I advertise solely on social media and put it on the coolest people in the world, it just becomes another shirt brand. But when people come and meet me, then they're like, "Oh, I know the owner. He gave me a shirt or whatever it is." That becomes a totally different experience for the
Mhm.
end user. For like for supplement products, you just become another supplement brand. Everybody's doing creatine, everybody's doing protein.
yep.
What separates you? Now, when you
It's
meet the owner,
different.
when I met the guys from Bucked Up, I was like, I like them. I now know their story. Now it's like I'm a user of their product. I never used their product prior to this, but I just stocked my shelves with it. I have their creatine here. I sell their protein, and now it's like now I become just a marketing ploy for them. What did it cost them? At the end of the day, it's like if I could funnel them not just the one sale, right? It's what I buy from them plus what my clients buy from them plus whatever that
Yeah, it
trickle down
spreads from
effect.
there. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
what's 5, 10 grand? Like, dude, I told you. Let me show you this just so you guys believe me. So I have Frank's bar
I know.
in my machine, and then here's the stockpile of it in the closet, right? So I got boxes of it. And what I did because I met Frank, I liked Frank. He's super fucking, great guy. And so now when people come in and they're like, "Oh, hey, you got anything?" I'm like, "Here, try this bar," and I give it to people.
Yep.
And now they start buying it from the machine. And now it's like it's I have 10 boxes in there, and now it's like I'll give it out at the event. So meeting and interacting with your clients as an owner, like you go to a restaurant, right? Especially somewhere here in New York, you go to a restaurant, owner comes out or the chef comes out and says, hey, how's everything going? You guys enjoying it? It's a completely different experience than if you
Mhm.
just go and you're sitting there and like you deal with the waitress or waiter.
Right.
So I was at an event and I had a couple of my protein treats and I was talking to this woman and I was like, hey, what do you know? She's like, I'm starving, whatever. And I gave her the treat and she ate. She's like, wow, this is really good. Fast forward, um, I have East Coast distribution everywhere. In about 2 months, bodegas, New York City, pretty much everywhere, military, um, half of the Midwest and everything. Because of that interaction,
Wow.
Right?
we're going to be everywhere in, in about 2 months, and plus, and then training with Juan Morel, and we're hitting it off. Like, hey, what's going on? Like, hey, you did me a solid. I do you solid. 10 countries here. Like, it is fitness is a network. It's networking. It's not everybody's like that. There's a lot of jealous assholes out
Yeah,
there who
yeah,
do not want you to succeed. That is 99% of the people, and
Hmm.
those
yeah,
people could be seemingly your best friends at some time, but they're
yeah,
not. Be careful the people don't clap for you. But
Yeah.
yeah.
that's the old saying. But the people that do, you know what I mean? Like, and like I was talking to Derek Pratt, and we were talking about doing different things, like, helping promote each other and this and that. Like, it's just even on that level. Okay, I got national distribution, but so what? I might need something over here, and you might need this, or
You
how can
can
I help you?
you can
It's
never
it's
have.
it's two sided. It's not one sided. Like, I'll do everything I can. Like, we had Chris Darcher in the gym. We're training, at the gym. We're promoting the gym. We're promoting this. Next year, I guarantee you, I will be the major sponsor there. I will be throwing protein treats at people because I'll
I
have that money. Because
I tell
I got a free booth at the Olympia. I got a free booth at Body Lunches, but I'm not taking any of the booths because I'm
yeah,
building the infrastructure of the company. But I
yeah.
will go in person and I will have treats and I'll have people try them and stuff like that. But yeah, when I'm ready, you'll know you're ready. And I totally appreciate all your help and obviously having them in the gym. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No, and no, I think it's so important. I tell people, my whole shtick recently has been that I say my superpower is that I want to see other people do well, right?
Yep.
So like Derek
Same.
hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I got this new product." I go, "Dude, I have no allegiance to any fucking band company." I go,
Me
"So
neither.
you reached out to me. You're hungry. I'd love to see you succeed. We know a lot of the same people." I go, "I bought 25 bags of his bands." So
Oh,
I go,
cool.
"I'm going to buy them anyway." I go, "I need them for my events. I need them for my gym. I'll just buy them from you." Like I want to see you do well, and I want to be like eventually like, oh, when he sells fucking, his company's worth $50 million, I'll be like, oh yeah, yeah, I bought like the first 25 sets of that shit.
Yeah.
Like when
Right.
you're
Exactly.
when hopefully when you sell to like Kellogg's or some shit one day, and I'm like, yeah, Frank used to come to my gym, and
Well,
I was like, I tried
well, I'll be the
like
fat guy with a white white tank top with a sauce stain with a fig tree in my backyard,
Yeah. And the
sipping
18-year-old fitness
limoncello.
girl on your arm.
yeah.
Sipping limoncello.
So Kenny, what about competitions? Do you have like competitions at this event where people like win shit, or
Yeah.
is it like
So we've done it every year, and it's always been an individual competition. But what I wanted to do was I wanted eventually, like as a small gym business owner, all the boutique gyms here in the city, I took 10 of the gym owners that own the small gyms here in the city, Tone House, Training Lab, uh, what's it, Trooper Fitness, the Athletic Club, my buddies who own Iron Culture, and at Rumble, and I sat everybody down, took everybody to dinner at Tao, and I said, guys, how many of you guys own a boat? How many
Hmm.
people own a second home? Nobody, right? Okay, so we've tried this alone. Now we need to work together. Let me extend the olive branch first, and I'll put out money first. So I took everybody to dinner. It cost me a couple grand, no problem. Now at my event, I said, I want you guys, and this is what the dinner was for. I go, put teams of 6 together, 3 guys, 3 girls. We're gonna do. I'm building out this cage. So I love the idea of the cage, like the animal cage that they used to do at the Arnold and stuff.
Hmm.
Everybody wants to be in the cage and lift. So what I said, I go, we're going to build this cage and we're going to do this like competition where it's all the shit that everybody should be able to do and what everybody's doing right now. So it's deadlifts, pull-ups, bench press, ski erg, bike, rower, and put a team of 6 together, and 3 people or 5 people compete at it at a time against another team. So each gym, so we have 9 gyms, each gym put a team of 6 together. We had Adidas sponsor everybody, so everybody's going to be matching Adidas shit. We're putting the gym logo on there, and I let everybody who's a part of that is coming for free. So I was like, hey, I'm going to take a loss on this. You guys come in, train your teams. I go, but here's the beauty for the gyms. I go, now you guys hold tryouts to be a part of this team that's going to get geared out. They're going to win some cash. They're going to get a WWE belt for the gym, right? And it's sponsored by a couple of the different brands and stuff. And basically what we're doing is now we're adding a revenue stream for them. Hey, next year when we do this, now you have to be on one of these gyms teams to compete. So now they're going to get a new member. They're going to get more buy-in from their clients who want to be a part of this. They're going to come more often because they want to train harder, because they're like, well, next year I'd love to be on that team. It gives them a goal. Think about, like, Zach, I feel like you're like me. You'll just fucking jump into anything and be like, oh, I'll go do a death race. I'll go do high rocks.
Sure.
I'll go do, like,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm always looking for other shit to compete in, because it's like, at our age, what the fuck do we do? Like, we need a goal. We need a purpose.
Yeah, gotta
Like,
have something to do.
yeah.
Gotta
So
find
I'm
it,
like,
and you gotta go find it. You can't just wait around for it to come. So that's why, if those opportunities arise, you gotta jump in.
yeah. So
Men's
now I'm
physique,
like, I'm
Jack.
given this competition that these gyms, right? Like, you have to be a part of one of these gyms. So, like, they'll get some new clients, they'll get more buy-in, people start to use their product more. And now it gives them a badge of courage to be like, hey, we have the best programming because we produce the best team, right? So next year we're going to blow it up even more. So there's a lifting side of it where Tone House is doing this whole like powerlifting seminar workout. So you could sign up for that at tonehouse.com. All right. Is that their website? Tonehouse.com. And then you
Mm-hmm.
could, we already have the team set aside for our thing, but like, there's going to be a lot of different workouts that you can participate in. But for
That's awesome.
right now, this will be like a cool competition. And then you could do the powerlifting competition. But I'd eventually love to grow it to where we do a jujitsu tournament, or we have
Yeah.
like kids kind of competition, like a kids strength competition. You know?
It's
Kenny.
funny because I like a lot of the gyms that you mentioned. I'm familiar with them. I'm a big fan of the folks over at Trooper Fitness too. Prince and Jen, who I've known there for a long time. Really great people, and it's always good to see good people get linked up with other good people, and hopefully you can all share in
Yeah.
that success together. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kenny,
Like
when you sat in the restaurant, right? Like that's a very Italian thing to do. You bro the heads of the families together.
yeah. Yep.
Who who are the assholes that ordered too much, like it's too much
Yeah,
food, like too much sushi, it's how
yeah,
and
Well,
who and who
we
are the standoffish people like I'm not gonna be a part of this.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there were definitely some people who were hesitant at first because they're like, "All right, what's his angle?" I'm like, "Listen, I'm paying for everything. I want order what you want." And I go, for the event, I don't want $1 from any of you guys. I go,
That's awesome.
because for my gym to be successful, I need 200 people here. I need 200 clients coming as regular as possible. I go,
yeah,
my gym's successful. There's 8 million people in New York. So we don't even have enough room for all the people that need our help.
Right.
So
yeah,
we're fighting over the same fucking people, and it makes no sense. I go, I want you guys to do well. I want you to have, because those 150 people or 200 people at your gym, other people see them and be like, I can't get into that gym. I'll go to another gym,
Yeah.
and now it's just more people working out and more people
Right.
through the cycle. So I truly believe that everyone is better off exercising, working out, in a community where they feel wanted. And I go, our gyms aren't right. You have big box gyms where people kind of keep to themselves, don't really talk. We're more community based gyms. So I'd call them community gyms. Yes, they're small training gyms or boutique gyms, whatever you want, but I call them community gyms where it's like people know each other. There's more of an interaction. They look forward to seeing each other. And I think, and I have someone speaking on relationships and stuff and how important that is. I was actually talking to Don and Jordan about that, about how important it is to have friends later on in life. So many people are like, I need to focus on having a significant other, whether it's a guy or a girl, whatever you're doing. Everybody's so hell bent on like, oh my God, I don't want to die alone. I need this. But that Harvard study that was done 100 fucking years ago said that the people who lived the longest, happiest life had friends throughout life. Good
Yeah, they have
friends.
a social life, right? Yeah, they're social and they have relationships.
Social. Yep.
Absolutely.
Think
And
about
you have a lot of great handpicked stuff in your gym. There's
Yeah.
in New York City. We loved it, Zach. Right? We had so
Oh,
many
yeah.
cool different
Very
things in
cool.
there that we like the sand dune and a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah.
So, like building a healthy body and building great relationships is what the event is all about. So whether
Cool.
it's with another gym or the clients who come, I want to just see people like really fucking, I've done the New York City Marathon 8 times. It's grueling. It's
Wow.
hard. This isn't that bad. This is, you come, you can work out if you want, you do the things you want, and you meet and network with some really great people like you guys who are like, for somebody who
Oh.
Oh.
I didn't even get to ask him if we could live stream from there. I mean, that's what I was hoping.
How's his
do.
internet connection?
Are you
Now
gonna
we
do
know.
jiu-jitsu? Zach's gonna be in the
he's
cage.
deep in thought. I mean, yeah, no,
He's
I want
coming
to
out
be
with that
outside of the.
belt.
Yeah.
Zach's coming out with that belt. I'll put my money on Zach.
Dude, I'll go. Listen, I'll jump into stuff, but it'll get into my my banter, my wild, hilarious banter, which I'm known for at these things, where we can just set up shop.
In delirium or out of delirium.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that was it. I'm hoping that we're able to. I could bring my setup. I could bring my Rodecaster and 4 mics, and we can just kind of, I've done it. I did it one year, but now that I've been able to do it myself, I could definitely trim down the amount of folks we need there, and yeah, it would be fun. It'd be fun to do it.
Yeah, I thought
We're coming.
we got to get Kenny back.
I'm coming.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to go. I mean, we talked about it briefly. But I also have to mark it down when it actually is.
October 5th.
October 5th. I see that now. I will do it. Now that I'm aware. Yeah, I know. I had to pull the screen. I had to pull the screen over. Like, I can't see that part. Because if I'm trying not to look at everything that's like going, it's just, trust me, if you saw what was going on over here, it's a total mess. Like, I am, and I can't. I also upgraded my iOS system. Hi.
Hi.
And I updated my iOS system, so now I don't really even know how all this shit's working because things are, I just haven't had a chance. But okay, the question I had was, am I able to? Can I live stream from there? Can I set up and like do like a podcast from there and talk to?
Yeah, so I'm trying to get a podcast booth. A buddy of mine who's like helps me with all the production stuff. We're trying to get a booth, but you could absolutely set up where you want. We'll have some area. I'll even put you in the VIP room where it'll be, you and Frank and guys like that, like Don, and then you could interview all the speakers and stuff. So it'll get you some good content. I told everybody who's coming, like, hey, if you got anything you're pushing, come do it. This is a place to do it. This is a place to get noticed. We're putting everybody under one roof, and you'll never see these brands kind of cross over. Like Gymshark just did this awesome like liftoff thing. They did that lifting thing on the East River, right? But it's like very bodybuilding, young, kind of in that world. We have yoga, Pilates, kids class, jiu-jitsu. Like rarely do these worlds ever cross over. Right. And I want to get them all under one roof for these people to start to mingle and work together a little bit. Because when when young girls ask me, they're like, oh, I do Pilates 3 days a week. Should I strength train? I go, you should absolutely strength train. Go to a good gym where they could teach you to lift and use Pilates as a supplement to your lifting. I'm not saying don't do Pilates, but use it as a supplement, right? Everyone should be strength training. That's why it's Strong New York and the Strength Club. But I go, use yoga and all that shit as like a supplemental thing. If you enjoy doing it or fucking dancing, go and do that. But you make sure that you're lifting, make sure you're getting better and stronger and creating good relationships.
You said it right there. It's the enjoyment. Well, you said if you like to dance, go have fun with it. But like this is great activity, but there is no supplement for having a strong foundation and having that. Yeah. So that's I'm the same, man. It's got to be a key component to what I do.
Got to. Yeah, I'm sorry, Zach.
No, I was done.
We have a little bit of a delay. We're living in a world right now where 7 out of 10 people are obese, overweight, and sick. And that is a tremendous statistic, and it's magnified in thick cities like New York. You got less to do because of the congestion. So when you're offering, you know, all kinds of avenues for you to pursue fitness in some degree, I mean, that is a tremendous health benefit for the population overall.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, I mean, to get people interested in moving is one of the most important things we can do for everybody,
Absolutely. There's a
well,
there's a
I took a video last night. I was walking over by Chelsea, and there's this place called Crumble or Crumb or some shit like that.
yeah,
It's
the
Yeah.
a cookie
donut
place.
place.
Yeah, it's a
cookies.
cookie donut place. I don't even know what the fuck they're selling.
Crumble.
But there's
Crumble
a line.
cookie. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a line out the door and down the fucking block to go
Yep.
grab cookies.
Yep.
I took a
Wow.
video and I'm gonna put it up on social media. I'm gonna be like, you'll line up to eat shit, which like fine. I'm not saying don't ever eat donuts or cookies and shit, but like people line up and wait in line for something that really doesn't serve them. It doesn't help you get better. It's a moment on the lips. It feels great, but it's like it's actually detrimental. It's not even real food. There's no nutritional value there. But it's like this. There's going to be benefits, positive benefits that long last. That one moment that you're eating. It's like if you meet somebody or eat something or do something that like changes the way you function and the way you operate on a daily basis, this will long last anything else. So that when people are like, oh, it's $150, that's a lot, I was like, what if I could change your day, your life, your year, even your
Hmm.
anything for $150? You'd be like, yeah, no problem. That's
Yeah.
crazy if I wouldn't pay
Yeah,
that
yeah.
There's a
So
company
Or
called
improve their health
Fit.
markers,
Yeah.
all of that shit. Yeah.
There's a company called Fit Singles that you should bring down, and you should do some
Hmm.
like fit speed dating because everybody's there for a community. I'm serious. Like they were a
yeah,
big
I
sponsor.
would
Fit,
I would
fit
do that in a
Singles, they
heartbeat.
were called. They're like all like-minded people who train together, that like train, like stay in shape, eat healthy. And this guy launched it's called Fit Singles. You have like a
Well,
speed dating.
I mean, that
That
makes
would be interesting.
I don't know what speed dating is, but to have people of
Yeah,
common.
it's you want me to educate you? It's
Yeah.
basically you
Well,
have
does that lead to a speed relationship, which leads to a speed divorce
it could.
with speed children?
To a quickie. I don't know.
What's the difference between speed dating and a quickie? What?
Well, yeah. Well, speed dating is like you'll go to table to table. There's like 10 tables, and you have a certain amount of time to introduce yourself, and then at the end, if you're picked, then you go out on a real date.
Oh my god! So
So
glad
you're
I'm
like,
there.
I would
I'm
never get
John.
picked. Yeah.
Hi, I'm John Romano. I'm a miserable bastard. Everything bothers me. I like to train. I hate everybody in the fucking gym. If you want to grab something, you pay your share. I'll pay my share. And maybe if you're lucky at the end of the night, you and I'll, have relations.
Oh, that sounds fun.
That's speed
Well,
dating.
yeah, but going back to the original point, I mean, that's a huge issue with compatibility with people. You cannot get in a relationship if you're a hardcore gym rat training maniac like us. You cannot possibly hook up with a 2-pack is smoking a day, fat girl. I mean, who doesn't work out. It's just not going to
Yeah,
happen.
no,
So yeah, to put like-minded people together is always a good idea.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean it's a no-brainer. And you know what? There was just an article in the Wall Street Journal about um, run clubs and how they're like the new dating site,
Yeah.
and everybody going these your run clubs. You're going to find 1,000 people who are in the same shit you are. They want to
Yeah.
get better. They want to live a healthier life. But you can't go on that journey with somebody who doesn't have the same mindset. You're going down this road where like it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, but to do it with somebody else who kind of shares those same ideas is a lot easier.
I would say the majority of divorced people are meeting people in the gym,
Yeah,
or
Yeah,
because they feel like
probably.
they're part of that community, or yoga because there's a familiarity. They're training, they know one another. It's a lot easier than going to a bar and or a lounge or whatever, and you meet somebody and you're like you have no idea who they are. So that's why I was saying jokingly, but that company Fit Singles, I don't know if they're still in existence, but they used to be
yeah.
a sponsor for us back in the day. But that's something that would be interesting. Not for you,
That's-
Yeah,
John.
no, I mean,
For certain people.
Oh man,
Zack
All right,
and
but
I
look,
wouldn't go.
we've gone on. We've rambled for an hour and 15 minutes. Let's we'll wrap it up. First of all, I know there's a lot of people that have been writing in. Just want to say thanks for that. A lot of them are
back
happy to
Thursday.
hear. Yeah, they're happy to hear too about what Kenny's up to and what he's doing with Strong New York and how he's and that's really cool. So hopefully you got a few new folks and a few new fans. And if anybody's I know there's a few people that are on here that are in the New York, New Jersey area. Listen, let's go. Frank and I are going to go.
We'll go.
Go
We're gonna
support it, and it'll be
podcast.
fun.
I'm coming.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it. But yeah, man. Listen, Kenny, thanks, man, and thanks, Frank, again
thanks,
for setting all this up. Frank's always doing all the coordinating, which I know is like incredibly annoying to have to do all that. So I'm grateful that you do it and I don't have to. So just
Not for friend. Look, they're always, looking forward to it, to going down and checking it out and doing some podcasts.
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
appreciate it, guys. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. And if you guys are around the night before, we're going to do a dinner. I have a dinner for all like the VIPs and the speakers and stuff. So it's again another good opportunity to like kind of network, commiserate with the people who kind of do the same thing or into the same things as you are. But like I said, I mean, we have running and lifting and yoga and everything else in between. So it's a good day to get out there and just try something new or do something with a bunch of people you might not have met before.
Cool. Hey, that's really kind. Thank
Sounds
you for
good.
and thank you for the invite. Don't be surprised if I take you up on that. But obviously, like Frank said, we would not order everything off the menu. We would be very respectful because we're
They
kind of
only,
like
they only
this.
go for lobster rolls.
Yeah, I don't even eat meat, so or seafood. So I'm basically it's just a salad. So I'm the cheapest date you could possibly ask for.
That's right.
Done, Zach. You're in.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. We will be back Thursday and.